Good morning. It's Thursday, September 4th, and I don't know if you heard this, but there is a Nintendo Direct today, and that's probably going to be pretty exciting. I think Nintendo already said they were going to be talking about predominantly Pokemon and Luigi's Mansion 3, which I'm super excited for. In fact, I took the entire day off on Halloween and the day after just to play Luigi's Mansion 3. But one of the things that I was thinking about were there are a ton of people right now who are making videos around the Nintendo Direct today, and that happens with every Nintendo Direct, right? You see people make predictions videos, you see people get ready for reaction videos, a lot of people live stream it with their audience, and one of the things that I thought about was that there's still a ton of topical opportunities that are left in 2019, because I know some people out there are like, oh, I wish I would have made videos about the Direct, but, I didn't have time or I didn't think about it. So today what I wanted to do really was just go over a few of the different topical content opportunities that I think are left in gaming for the rest of the year. And again, I've mentioned this before. Yesterday we talked a little bit about how, just making videos for the algorithm is not necessarily the best thing to do, because it can make you seem sort of cold, robotic, not necessarily, maybe bring you the results that you're looking for. What's up, Neil? How you doing, man? But I want to make it clear, like, trending or topical videos are not, like, necessarily a bad thing. They're not. And that's not necessarily chasing the algorithm. That's just paying attention to what, the public is currently paying attention to, what gamers are paying attention to. And while I'm a big proponent for evergreen content, that is, if you're not familiar, evergreen content is a video that you make that has, shelf life, right? Because certain videos will last a lot longer than other videos, right? If you do, like, a tutorial about how to change your Joy-Con shells, for example, people are going to be wanting to do that even when that system becomes retro, like, 10 years from now. So that is a good example of a piece of evergreen content. And the flip side of that is topical or trending content, which doesn't have a very long shelf life, right? If you look up a review for a particular game, unless you do it in a just profoundly interesting, hilarious, and entertaining way, a la, AVGN, for example, usually those types of videos don't tend to last very long, right? They kind of fizzle out quick because people have already moved on to the next best thing. But that doesn't mean that trending or topical videos aren't worth making, because they absolutely are. If evergreen kind of brings you like a trickle of content and potential new subscribers over a long period of time, like months or potentially years, then trending content is the exact opposite, and they can give you like short, just massive bursts of traffic, new viewers, potential subscribers, and so forth. Dad, hello, how are you doing? You shaved, Josh. I did shave. It was time. I was about to do the handlebar mustache thing, but then I just thought better of it. I don't think I'm quite there yet, despite the fact that's exactly what DW wants me to do, but I'm putting it off as long as I can. Cynthia, how are you this morning? I think it's a balancing act between what you want to do and what people will want to watch. Honestly, is a lot harder than it sounds. Oh yeah, it absolutely is. Like, trying to find that balance is not always an easy thing, and especially like if your channel's very focused, which again is something I'm a proponent for. It can be hard to find like that sweet spot between the content that you're willing and able to make in a great way, and that also your audience is going to appreciate. But again, Nintendo Direct is kind of like the hot topic for today. Everyone's pumped. That's going to be happening at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. So knowing that, and knowing that a lot of people are making content around it, but you may have missed the boat on it, I figured why not talk about some of the other opportunities you'll have throughout the rest of 2019 that we know about, because 2020 is rapidly approaching, right? We got like 4 months left, and then we're going to be into an entirely new year of new games, new news, and all kinds of other things that you can, create content around. Morning, Mom. How are you? Universe Retro, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for swinging by. So with that being said, these are just a few of the ones that I noticed, but if you have other ideas, if there's something that I'm not talking about, let me know, because I would be curious. I'm sure you guys will actually spot lots of opportunities that I'm not even thinking about right now, but I'm just going to go through a few of the ones that just off the top of my head, I thought, these are also opportunities that you have the ability to prepare for and make sure you're not going to miss the boat on, before they happen, and potentially catch a wave of new traffic, viewers, and in turn, possibly subscribers. So one of the first ones, obviously, and I put it on the thumbnail, is the Switch Lite, right? The Switch Lite's going to be coming out in just over 2 weeks. That thing's going to drop on September 20th. I already pre-ordered mine. I went for the yellow one because I thought it was very pretty, although it was really hard to choose between that and the turquoise one. But, that's something that people are super excited for, and a lot of, early reviewers from larger publications like The Verge, Polygon, IGN have already gotten some hands-on time with it, and some YouTubers have been able to go to an event and already check it out a little bit. But then, there's no reason that you can't make content around that system when it launches, particularly if you're planning on getting one yourself. And there's just so many pieces of content that you can make around the launch of a new console, right? You can do comparison videos where you see how it stacks up against the original Switch, which I think will be particularly relevant given the fact that the Switch, the main Switch, got a revision where it has better battery life at this point. You could also do just like a breakdown of some of the accessories that are going to be available for it at launch, because you're going to have a new system, particularly a portable one. A lot of people are going to be looking for ways that they can store it safely, or the best way they can sort of accessorize it and have a good experience with that system. You could also just do, hands-on impressions. You could do graphical comparisons just to see if there is any major difference between, that system and the original, because one of the things that you might know about the Switch Lite is it has a higher pixel density screen than the original Switch does. Like, the screen is shrunken down a little bit, which makes everything a little bit more dense, which in, some early videos people have pointed out makes it a little bit more clear, right? It makes the images just a little bit sharper somehow. I have a weird system with it. I do new games, but then I'll go through patch where I do a session 2 of stuff, and then do games that people haven't heard about. And I think that's cool too. Like, it's to raise awareness about games that people aren't familiar with. Definitely not a bad idea. So the Switch Lite would definitely be one. Again, it's going to be launching in 3 colors on September 20th. There's a lot of people that are going to be super interested in that system. I will personally be interested in it, not just because I want one, but also at the macro level to see how it performs. With so many Switches that are already out there, I'm curious how many people who already have a Switch are going to go ahead and make the leap to this. And then I also want to know how many people who have never had a Switch are like, you know what, I don't need to dock this into a TV. I just want something that's smaller, more lightweight, and more in line with, the portability of the Vita, perhaps, than having a true, full-blown Nintendo at-home console. Checkpoints, what's up, man? How you doing today? Appreciate you stopping by. What time is it where you're at again? It's probably, the afternoon, I would say? I only do unboxings if I have it, like I did for the Switch, because I have one with specs, and it doesn't tell me if I like the console or not. Yeah, and that's the thing. I've never been big on, systems competing on specs, but some people are nuts about it, right? Even though you may not love the spec comparisons, some people out there are absolutely nuts about it. I think those tend to be people who get more into the console wars and everything, or like the PC Master Race and all that stuff. But, again, it is something that you could craft specifically around that launch and probably find an audience for it. And I think that's, one of the challenges that goes along with making these trending videos, is because there are tons, like hundreds or thousands of other creators that are going to try to hop on that train. It's very important at that point to find a way to do it different or to distinguish yourself in some way, because otherwise, it's easy to get sort of lost in the noise, right? Universe Retro says, I have a Switch, but honestly not going to get the new one. My Switch is working great so far, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with mine, too. It is working great. The only justification I can make for the purchase of this system, and it's a bit of a stretch, is I want it to kind of be my all-digital system, where I don't have to worry about swapping cards in and out and all those digital games that I have, which are not a ton, but, I kind of like the idea of freeing up space on the main Switch for things like patches and stuff. And the secondary advantage for me is because I rely so heavily on docked mode of the Switch, so I can do streaming and everything. For me, the Nintendo Switch Lite is almost like an insurance policy, right? Whenever I go out, because that's the thing, whenever I go somewhere, the Switch comes, even if it's for 5 minutes, the Switch almost always comes with me, just in case I can squeeze in just 1 or 2 quick play sessions. So I think that I will feel more comfortable knowing that, if I do drop it, break it, something like that, I'm not going to tank my ability to stream those games or something like that. So that's another reason that I can put stock in that. So Switch Lite, definitely a content opportunity for anybody who's looking to get on that train in advance, because you got about 2 weeks to prepare for it, and then you've all got about 3 to 4 weeks to prepare for this next one, and that is Halloween. Or really just, seasonal stuff in general are always good opportunities, but Halloween is a big one for YouTubers, right? Because that's a time when everybody gets, super into the Halloween spirit, at least here in America, and they get, really into their, like pumpkin spice lattes, it's hoodie weather. There are a lot of really cool videos that you can make specifically around just the spooky stuff that sort of comes with Halloween, and also the fall weather period, right? Personally, I'm already gearing up to figure out exactly what I'm going to talk about, because I've got 25 days of live streams I'll have to do in the mornings through Halloween, right? So I'm focusing that very heavily on fear. So if you have a lot of things that you're afraid about on YouTube, be ready for that, because that's the kind of content that I'll be doing every morning throughout the month of October. But, you see tons of people make amazing, videos around, horror content, right? Horror live streams are great. I did the Blair Witch on this channel a couple of nights ago. It was pretty spooky, although I think I got more comfortable with it as time went on. But that's a ripe opportunity to do things like, list videos where it's your top 10 horror games and things like that. It's a great opportunity to collaborate with other people who are also super into the Halloween spirit. Another one that you might be able to make are videos about, horror games that got movies and how that may or may not have worked so well. Looking at you, Silent Hill. But, that's something that, like Fabian Gamer Thumb TV, I know that dude's been preparing for Halloween because he's such a huge fan of it, probably since November 1st of last year. So knowing that that's on the way, this is a great time to start getting prepared for all the horror stuff that you want to make if you are a big fan of Halloween, as I know a lot of people are. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. I understand that I literally have 100% digital game library for Switch. Yeah, I like the convenience of digital, right? But the collector in me just can't go all in on it. 1 p.m. just ate some tuna and pasta lunch. That sounds delicious, even at this early hour. Brain, what's up, man? I think the Switch Lite is going to be the king of handheld gaming. Granted, Nintendo is really the only player on the market. RIP DS. Yeah, I think it's going to do pretty well portably. Plus, I mean, you're saving $100 on it. And a lot of kids probably prefer to play in portable mode, anyways. Beep beep boop boop bop. I see we have a robot in here. Rob, thank you for hanging out. Robot? I still have the 3DS, and I'll be jumping on the Halloween hype like I did last year when it went well. Checkpoint says, I recorded all my Nightmare Before Christmas games, so I had to time to make my whole review stop motion. That's incredible. And I would say that's an excellent example of somebody who's doing a review in a way that is different, right? And I think that's important for a format that gets done to death. Things like list posts or reviews are incredibly common formats. So if you can find a way to distinguish yourself, like doing stuff, I can't imagine how much time that's going to take in pre- and post-production checkpoints. I'll be curious about that. Cindy says, when the pumpkin spice latte is here and it's still over 100 degrees, oh, you mean the weather. I thought you were talking about coffee temperature. I order my coffee at 140 degrees, which is probably exactly as pretentious as it sounds. Lola, what's up? You always start streaming when I'm brushing my teeth. Yes, stop worrying about that. Everything's going to be fine, Beck. I doubt anyone will guess my favorite Halloween-based character. I'll take a stab at it. Jason? Shot in the dark, kind of a popular choice. So yeah, Halloween, again, right around the corner, easy thing to prepare for. And if you're somebody who's super into Halloween, it's a great time to start looking at, all of those horror games that you love to play. Horror games are going to be coming out. The way I'll be capitalizing on Halloween is, again, I took the whole day off for Luigi's Mansion, right? So Halloween day, I'm probably going to get up at the same time, around 8 a.m. and start streaming Luigi's Mansion 3. Well, no, wait. If it drops on Halloween, I won't be able to do that. Unless they do a midnight launch, which I doubt they will. That would be cool, though. Midnight launch for Luigi's Mansion 3. But that's one of the ways that I'm going to try to get ready for that, because I have to be a little bit more creative now because everything's live, at least until Halloween. Like, that will probably be the last big push for live for this experiment to kind of see what happened with it over the past 3 months. But Luigi's Mansion 3, totally going to be a way that I'm going to prepare for that. And next up, kind of right next to Halloween, and really we're kind of already in the season right now, is, there are tons and tons of major game launches that are going to be happening, right? We are rapidly approaching prime time for video game releases, right? So you should be able to easily chart out what games are coming out when, and then how to make content around them. Like the one that I used in the thumbnail is Death Stranding, which is one I'm super pumped about, and I'll definitely be doing probably an unboxing of the creepy jar baby that comes with that collector's edition, even though some people find that, perhaps rightfully so, appalling. But then, there's a ton of, we've got Doom Eternal coming out. You've got the Pokemon games that are going to be coming out in November. When else is going to be coming out? Zelda Link's Awakening is going to be happening here in just a couple of weeks. But, right now, we are entering that crunch time. There's new Call of Duty coming out, new Ghost Recon coming out. Well, no, not Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's not till next year. But still, there's just, this massive amount of games that's going to be coming out over the next 2-3 months. So it's a good time to prepare either to tackle them individually or to do content around the fact of just how many there are. What video I would watch if somebody would make it? I'm not going to make it. But if somebody was like, here's how much your wallet's going to suffer if you try to get every AAA that's going to launch, not even without the collector's edition, it's going to be a rough holiday season for a lot of us who are completely addicted to console gaming, I think. Russ, what's up, man? How you doing? Hope they can finally beat Friday the 13th on NES this year. I tried Friday the 13th on NES a few times. That game's no joke. Shaboinky boink, hello. Nintendo Direct in 10 hours, I know, right? That's kind of what we're talking about this day, because a lot of people are super pumped for that. It's a good content opportunity for people who are trying to, catch a wave. Neo says, Halloween isn't such a big thing in the UK as it is in America. Yeah, we love it in America. America's all about Halloween. We have Spirit Halloween stores pop up in every vacant shopping center that imaginable. Halloween isn't a thing in Australia as well. I feel for you guys. That's tragic. Erno, welcome back. How you doing? I'm glad you are back, my friend. Next year is going to be my time because of DBZ Kakarot. Right? See, you're already charting out an opportunity there of a game that you're excited to cover. Only game I want happens to release on my birthday, the 15th of November. What game comes out the 15th? That's not Death Stranding, is it? That was later. Mayor, what's up, man? Why do Aussies just not care? You guys are missing out. You have no idea. The spookiness and the air that happens in this country right around October. It's fantastic. Creepy Jar Baby is so cute. The jar only magnifies its cuteness, right? Jar Baby's gonna be doing some streams with me, right? For sure. I'm gonna dress it up in little hats. It's gonna be adorable, or terrifying, one or the other. It's an American holiday. That's why. Well, it ought to be a universal holiday. It's magical. I did see your hint, but can't speak to it, Nightcore. Just a DBZ man, full stop. Trick or treat around these parts, people will call the police. I could see that. In a country that doesn't celebrate, I'm sure if you just went around knocking on people's doors like, give me candy, probably would call the police. Thinking about covering the Dead Space series for Halloween for the channel, that would be a series that I'd like to see, and I know that you do excellent recaps anyways of some of my favorite titles from the past, Mayor. Halloween is dying in the UK. That's kind of tragic, but somewhat appropriate, perhaps, given the spookiness. So yeah, major game launches, again, you know, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Zelda, Death Stranding, Ghost Recon, Call of Duty, Borderlands 3 is right around the corner. We're going to get Dragon Quest 11 at the end of this month. There's just, like, this is the time to really ramp up any prep you want to do for the games that you're excited about, because they're about to just, like, hit us like an avalanche right now, right? And that's the thing, even this summer hasn't even been that much of a drought when it comes to gaming. You know, historically speaking, summer's been kind of a dry season as publishers start to scale back and they ramp up big for the holiday season, because that's when all the games are going to sell. But I feel like we didn't even really hit that this year. I feel like I've still been stuck in a steady stream of games that are fantastic, between games like Mario Maker 2, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Catherine back here doesn't technically count, I guess, you know, because it's kind of a remake, but still, seems like there's been a lot, but nonetheless, the highest concentration of games will be coming in that holiday season, so I think it's a good thing to get ready for. And in turn, if you're going to have, get ready for all of the major game launches, the content that you're going to craft around it, another great season, another seasonal thing is Black Friday. Now, that may not be as big of a deal in other parts of the world, I'm not really sure, but in America, right after Thanksgiving, people don't even get, like, you'll still be eating turkey, and people will be like, well, it's time to go, and they take off to go line up at Best Buy so they can get a TV for like $100. But for a lot of us, a lot of gamers, that is also the best time to look for great deals. And I will tell you, Beck, who's in the chat right now, actually hooked me up last year, or clued me into a deal, and it wasn't technically a deal. There was apparently a pricing error at Walmart where they were selling Diablo 3 for the Switch for $17.99. Not a bad find. But again, like, that's just a natural extension or something that you can start making content around, is where to get the best deals on games during that, like, pivotal holiday season. Because it's not just that people are shopping for themselves. Usually they have a lot of friends, family that are also gamers they're trying to, look for games for. And with that kind of a deluge of AAA titles, that adds up quick. So anything you can do to spread the word about, buy two, get one frees, or game day sales at GameStop, or, also Black Friday deals, just, the straight up regular ones that they do for Best Buy. All of that stuff's going to be helpful, because we're just about to get slapped with dozens and dozens of titles that a lot of people are going to be nuts about. Jay, what's up, man? How you doing today? Appreciate it. My Blair Witch video has done well. I'm excited to do some horror essays in October. I still need to watch that. I'm so sorry, Nathan. EA just handed over the head executive position to former FIFA head EA for loot boxes and microtransactions. Yeah, I mean, that's going to chip away at the budget, too, for new games if people are really, really into that. Poor old Shaq. Are we talking about scary games? A little bit, yeah. I mean, in terms of, we're talking about, topical or trending opportunities for content creators to capitalize on in the video game space. So if you have horror games that you want to talk about, go for it, Erno. EA, they want loot boxes and Need for Speed Heat. EA investors say psych right now. Yeah, there's always going to be, in the digital age, or especially in an age where they can sort of outsource the QA process to consumers and patch it in later, loot boxes, I think, unless they're a regulation, which has happened I think in Europe they kind of cracked down on that, calling it gambling. Not from America, but finds out Diablo for Switch was $17 at Walmart. Yes, I have no idea how you figured that out before me, all the way in Australia, but, again, I'm grateful. Jay says, dude, I love Animaniacs. Where did that come from? I mean, it's hard not to love Animaniacs, right? It's a staple of 90s television. Plus, I always liked that they had, regular celebrities that would cameo in it, like Spielberg or John Candy. Black Friday is deadly here. Like, people get hurt over it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, same thing happens here in America. People are absolute savages when it comes to getting a good deal on a TV. Thanks for getting screamed at on my behalf. Oh, it was totally... Yeah, I should point that out. When I went to Walmart for that deal that Lowell's talking about, I did get kind of yelled at by the associate because I insisted that the game was going to be $17.99. He insisted it wouldn't be. Then he pulled it out. It was the last copy. Scans it, finds out I was right. He seemed very, very upset with me. You see about the possible reboot, Jay? Oh, for Animaniacs? That's crazy. Jonathan, the new Star Wars game comes out on my birthday. Fallen Order? That one? That's one that I'm cautiously optimistic about, but we'll see. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I grew up more of a Trek kid than Star Wars. I'm happy to say, not sorry to say. Dead by Daylight is probably what I'll do. Dead by Daylight's going to be incredible. No, I'm sorry. I always do this. I always confuse Dead by Daylight with Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 is what I'm excited for, but Dead by Daylight is a fun game. Walmart is just knocking off $10 for most games year-round, even for new releases. Yeah, and that seems to be happening a lot. I see Amazon doing the same thing. Official main characters confirmed, but I think sadly it's only on Hulu for Animaniacs. that's kind of great. And Rocko's Modern Life actually did it recently as well. They got a Netflix special. Kind of cool to see that come back. Although, admittedly, I haven't watched it yet, but I used to love Rocko back then. And I love the Rocko's Modern Life SNES game. So I came in, I said, hello, nurse, and Nightcore mentioned the reference. Okay, that's how we got there. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Man, I really overused emoticons. I'm actually on a no emojis marathon. Dude, use emojis all you want. If you've ever watched the way I tweet, send messages, anything like that, I always say this, like I text like a 14-year-old girl. I send emojis constantly. I love them. They're great. So yeah, that's, again, a natural extension of all the major game launches that are happening, is doing content around how to get those deals and help people, save a little bit of dough, increase their library, do some shopping for other people, getting the holiday spirit and all that stuff. And then finally, right along with that, with purchasing for other people, Christmas is also right around the corner for a lot of us that celebrate it, and even if you don't celebrate it, it's still like a cultural phenomenon in America where a lot of people go absolutely nuts for retail. So, that will be and I've done this before on the channel, is a good time to do like, gift ideas, right, for gaming, which may not even be directly, video games. That might be accessories. For me, I try to do stuff that's not just, video games or video game accessories, because those are pretty common points to hit. But again, since my channel is more aimed at video game content creators, less purely at gamers, that would also be where I try to put out tools for production, things that I think are good deals or things that are worth looking into, when you are shopping for the content creator in your life, even if that content creator is you. So just to recap real quick, those are 5 upcoming, topical or trending sort of things I think you can capitalize on as we, basically go towards the end of 2019 and into 2020. Again, the Switch Lite's going to be launching. Always fun to make content around the launch of a new console. Halloween is coming up, so if you're at all a horror fan, good time to ramp up for that. The way I'll be doing it is by doing a monster stream of Luigi's Mansion 3 on Halloween, which, since Best Buy doesn't open until 10, if they don't do a midnight launch, I'll probably have to start at like 10 in the morning, but then, we'll just play it all day, or until I pass out, one or the other. Lots of major game launches that are coming out, because this is the season when all that stuff comes out, because publishers are banking on tons and tons of holiday shopping, which brings me to the next one, which is how to help people get deals on all of that shopping that's going on. And then finally, just gift ideas for Christmas, right? And there are probably a few others that I'm forgetting right now, like I think the Video Game Awards will be happening in December, so that's probably another good piece of content that you could craft around or stream with your audience. But I'm curious, what about you? What have I missed here? What's going to be happening throughout the end of 2019 that you think would be a good idea to keep an eye on if you are a YouTuber in the video game space that you think you should be, trying to prep for now? Because I'm a big believer in that old adage, right? Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So what should people be preparing for now, in your opinion? I would love to know. Let's talk about it. And I will try to catch up with the chat. Celeste is free on the Epic Game Store. Celeste is an amazing game, and it's also the only way that I know Kawaii Lola. It's the only way I got to meet her. Diggs, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you stopping by. Josh, my favorite Halloween character is Chucky. Ooh, that's a hard pass. Even as a fellow ginger, I can't get behind that. He's a little monster. Voice actor of Brain, I believe, died. Oh, that's tragic. Let's see, where am I at? Oak City, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for coming out to the stream. Like I said, I'm a Freddy man. I want a Switch Mini and can't wait for it to get... Where did you win a Switch Mini? That's crazy, Jay. Got good news. I don't got to worry about going away for a bit and coming back, possibly when the stream is wrapping up, as my family now has an unlimited... Oh, that's awesome, man. Very cool. Typically sleeping around 3 a.m. Nightcore. Matt, if that's you, you're fired for not answering me on Facebook. He's a busy guy, okay? He can't just get back to everybody. He's only a man. Yes, Nintendo Direct today, and again, that's one that a lot of people are making content around right now. Definitely, I mean, anything that really happens, like major industry events, like shows or live streams or things like that you can catch, always a good thing to jump on, particularly if you're a news channel, right? You almost have to. It's like requisite. I still haven't played Celeste, I'm sorry. I would love to watch you stream Celeste if that would ever become a possibility, because I think that would be a lot of fun. The game is really hard, but in like a fun, challenging way, not like a brutally, like, unforgiving way. Want it in a Facebook group? You have to get me into that Facebook group, Jay. If you got the hookup on free Switch Lites. Facebook haven't hooked up to it for 4 months, and that's the thing. I haven't really been on Facebook either. My whole thing is I love Twitter because originally I did not like Twitter because I didn't understand how to use it very effectively. But as I got to know how to use it and found that you could very much and very easily kind of curate to only follow the people that speak about the topics that you're very interested in, I have not been active on Facebook since, I would say, the end of 2017. I've almost abandoned the platform entirely, save for occasional updates on the page, which I don't even know if I'm going to leave that up, if I'm being honest. But if I do decide to come back to Facebook, I'll very much be curating it the same way I have with Twitter, and probably looking into more, like video game style groups that I can hang out in. Hey, Big Glitch, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Oh, I won't pass the. Oh no, you'll pass the first stage. The first stage is nothing, but it's got a gentle curve, but when it ramps up, the difficulty in Celeste is pretty great. So depending on how you feel about hard games, but again, it's not unmanageable, and like it's got, I would say, a consistent sort of feeling of fulfillment, of accomplishment as you work through that game. Like it doesn't feel like a horrible grind. Well, it's free on EGS, so maybe it's time. Yeah, I mean, if it's free, it would be a decent time to do it. I like to be here because I can talk to people that I've never seen, and because it's a small one. I'm not pushed away by the flow of messages and one big massive streams, you know what I mean? I do. And as this channel grows, that's going to be more of a challenge, and I'm not sure how to meet it yet, but, I'm excited for it. I think the answer to growth is not completely mitigating any problems that might manifest, but just figuring out how you're going to deal with them at the time. So, I never understand people who are, like, afraid of success. They're like, well, what if the chat gets too fast and then I can't keep up with it? I probably shouldn't do stuff at all. Like, that's not how that works. You sold all your Genesis stuff? I would be curious to know why you chose to do that, Jane. What led you to get rid of your entire Genesis collection? That's crazy. Nia says, I gotta say, I'm pooing my pants about doing Pokemon for the first time on the channel. It's scary. Why would you be scared of that? That's fantastic, man. If that's your first time ever... Wait, you're just saying your first time putting Pokemon content out live on your channel? You shouldn't be scared about that, man. You'll do great. I'll come check it out. I've seen you stream before at this point, Neo. I know you know what you're doing. YourPlayerTwo, did you remember to check out Go XLR on the go? No, I have not had a chance to yet. I am so sorry, Diggs. But what I will do right now is bring it up in a browser over here so that I can answer that question better the next time you're here. Hold on. Go XLR Mini. Sampler and voice effects for streamers? Ooh, that looks nice. Although the Go XLR is $399. I don't know that I need voice modulation that badly, but man, it looks slick. That's a lot of pretty colors. Like completely ignoring any technical benefit that it provides right now, Diggs, I can already tell you I'm just entranced by the prospect of more pretty color things on the desk, which is horrible, I know, but this is something to look into, though. I will give that a closer look, for sure. That looks very nice. Celeste is a solid title. You got any Game Boy Advance stuff, Jake? Game Boy Advance was one of my favorite portables to collect forever. I think I probably only have like 20 or 30 Game Boy Advance games, but there's some solid titles. It's a very curated collection. Got it free on Xbox Live. Oh, I didn't know they did that free on Xbox Live. Solid. I need Rocking Cat, Shattered Felix the Cat, and Kickmaster complete in box. I don't want that. Got any spare Dreamcast controllers and cables, Jay? Pokemon community is scary, man. They're brutal. They'll rip your head off. Well, so, you don't have to... I mean, I'm sure it's not the entire Pokemon community. It's probably just certain pockets of it. Just avoid those people. If they're going to be total savages. To buy more NES games that work... Oh, okay. I get that. So you're sort of just, making some sacrifices then so you can get some sicker stuff into your main passion, because I'm sure you value your NES collection above all else. I actually hate the Switch because it has pushed my beautiful Mario Maker levels with... What? I have no idea what you're saying, Erno, but I'm sorry. Okay, I'm off to work. Oak City, take care, man. You have a good one. Zero Sega stuff from any console, Nycor. I mean, no Pokemon Master. I'm no Pokemon Master at Scare Me. Dude, I've made an entire live streaming channel and persona around the fact that I am almost comically inept at most games, Your value doesn't have to come from you just being a master, necessarily, right? As long as you're engaged with the audience and you're having fun, that's all that matters. If being a complete master isn't fun to you, don't try to force it, and don't worry about the people that don't dig it, man. They will dig you for other reasons, I promise, Neo. Minus my childhood Game Gear. Yeah, that would be a hard thing to part with, I would say. Sending our next post on Facebook to you, Josh. Okay, I will check it out, Oak. It's scary. So many people love Pokemon. I don't want to break break it. Oh no, you'll be fine. You alone are not going to put some dent in the love of Pokemon. I wouldn't worry about that at all. Josh, did you make it upstairs to my game room when you were at my house? Yes, I did. It is delightful. It is a pure and beautiful concentration of everything that I loved about the 90s and Nintendo. That thing is good, if I do say so myself. The sequel shadowed the original for which game? What did I miss here, Erna? What are you talking about? Let's see, where are we at? My first name's on YouTube was Easy Gamer, aka Neo. Nothing wrong with that. Now I'll tell you, like, you know, I do have friends that jokingly frown on it, like GamerThumb TV, Fabian, amazing dude, but he would never ever touch a difficulty level south of medium, probably south of hard in most cases. Like, that dude is a masochist. Like, he loves to put himself through brutal gaming challenges and come out on top. Personally, I don't feel the need to punish myself. I'm usually, when it comes to modern stuff, I'm usually more interested in, you know, the story, how the characters play out, and the gameplay. I don't want to be frustrated, right? You know, like, you'll almost never... You know what? I should be careful with this. I say that you'll never see me, you know, rage quit on a game on stream, but I suppose there's always a chance. You know, it's a possibility. Let's see. Mistakes were made. Such a terrible name. No. It's all good, man. My original name was completely not reflective of the content I was putting out, so I can relate to a misstep in naming. Gotta Catch 'Em All has been changed to Gotta Catch It Right. Like, that would be my, like, I wouldn't be like, Gotta Catch 'Em All and be the best there ever was. It would be like, you know, gotta catch a few if I have time and maybe be competent at throwing the Pokeball. It's not a great tagline. Not as exciting. Wait, what about Farm Together, Lola? What are you talking about? Are we playing more Farm Together? Because I haven't touched that in a while, and that was one of my favorite games of the year. That if there was one hidden gem above all else that I would say, oh yeah, that's a game that you shouldn't sleep on, Farm Together would be it. I say that to people, and they look at it, they take one look at it, and I did the same thing. And you're like, oh, this is just like a Facebook mobile game. This looks like garbage. It's not garbage. It is amazingly fun. It's super fulfilling. It's one of the chillest games that you can play this year, and I'd almost forgotten about it. Thank you for bringing that back to my to the forefront of my thinking back. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to get Farm Together, it's some of the best $20 you'll spend. If you find it on sale, it's a no-brainer. If you like a chill game with, like, you know, sort of light acoustic backdrop soundtrack, where, you know, you get to raise animals and build a large, beautiful farm, and then, because it is Farm Together, you get to play with other people, right? I think you can have up to 8 people on your farm simultaneously, and then you can control and give them permissions as to what they can do. They can harvest crops, they can build things, they can buy things, depending on the level of access that you're comfortable with. But I gotta say, that's one of my favorite games this year. I cannot believe I almost forgot about that. I've been dealing with trying to find the time to edit and to stream lately. Real life has been a hectic mess lately. I can relate. I have definitely, for me, the biggest time that hit was probably holiday season last year, so I'm trying to take steps this year to be more prepared for it, so it doesn't hit me like a ton of bricks. I know I'm going to take a little bit of time off from the channel the week of Christmas. That's probably the only time I'll be taking off. But yeah, real life stuff can absolutely get in the way. That's one of the reasons that I'm a big fan of, you know, batch filming in advance whenever I'm doing pre-produced stuff, just so that I can, you know, I have a little bit of margin there, so if something goes wrong, if I get sick, something like that, or if I have a commitment where I can't record the time that I normally would, I've already got content ready to go, which I think is good strategy, so that might be helpful. And he says, maybe I'll beat a few gems along the way, or maybe I'll just stay in the safe zone where I get bodied. I mean, yeah, either one. Like, I'll pick up Pokemon on principle. I'm not super excited for it. I'm interested because it looks like they're mixing it up a little bit this time. But, you know, we'll see. And I think the other thing that bums me out, again, it's hard for me to get excited about the multiplayer component in first-party Nintendo titles, just because I know that their online infrastructure is just kind of bad. It's not great. So that diminishes the experience. Like, there's a multiplayer game on PS4, Xbox, I get pretty pumped for it, because I know that those are going to be solid online experiences in most cases, but Switch, kind of a crapshoot. Like, it's not crazy to me that they ended up pricing their online infrastructure at around the $20 range. Or their subscription service, I should say. I did not expect the garbage mobile game was actually so addictive, right? You look at Farm Together and you're like, this is garbage. It's not garbage. It's delightful, and I highly recommend to anybody to pick it up. Speaking of which, I'll have to get back in there. I'm sure they're going to do something awesome for Halloween, Lola. They have to be. I'm actually planning on doing Farm Together. Spoilers. Dude, that's awesome. What platform are you going to get it on? Because I think Lola and I think everybody that I play with is on Switch. But I think it's out for PS4 also. I think it's all... I'm not sure about Xbox, though. It might only be PS4 and Switch. No, seriously, why do people hate the Wii U? I think the Wii U had a number of problems. I think one of the biggest ones was marketplace confusion for, like, parents that were going to buy it. you know, because they would go out and some people would be confused and be like, oh, Wii U game, will this play on my Wii? It's like, no, you have to buy the Wii U. And they're like, I already have a Wii. So I think that was kind of a missed up. But I see where Nintendo was going with it, right? They had great success with the Wii. It was like a casual gaming hit. So they figured, why tweak a good thing too much and confuse people? We'll just make it the Wii U and kind of try to keep that brand power growing. But I don't think it really worked out for them. Another thing, out of the gate, it had a great selection of games. I think it launched with 30 or 34 games, I want to say. But then there was like this huge drought where there were really no games for months on end, which is horrible. And Nintendo have clearly learned from their mistakes, because now with the Switch, we haven't had a single month go by since the Switch launch where we didn't have at least one really good game that came out. Like, they've been very careful, very deliberate about making sure there's a steady stream of great content for the system, which is great, because that's bolstered the sale of units and in turn garnered a lot of third-party support, which in turn fuels even more and better games for the Switch, which I could not be happier about. Favorite system this generation, hands down. Real life is a drag. Time to live in VR. Ready Player One style. Right? I would be okay with joining the Oasis Shaboinky Boink. I know I've seen one of my favorite... one of my ideals is Shady Penguin, which has done a ton of Pokemon videos. Not familiar, but then again, not a huge Pokemon fan. Despite the fact that I have a Pokemon tattoo, so that's incredibly irresponsible. People didn't hate the Wii U. Most people just didn't know it existed. Right, or they only knew in a limited capacity and it wasn't overly appealing to them. Jane says, I like my Wii U, but probably because it's in the kiosk. Yeah, that's an incredible display. That's one of the first things I noticed about your game room, Jay. PS4, I already have it on there. Oh, okay, cool, Neo. They need more cross-platform integration for online play. Yeah, and Sony, you know, they tried to stay sectioned off, right? You know, they wanted to keep people locked into their platform. They didn't want to play nice when it came to cross-platform stuff. But ultimately, that's a battle that they're probably going to lose, because most people, because if the big three are the big thing, right? You've got Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Well, for now, until we have a couple other players enter that battle. You know, if Microsoft and Nintendo form an alliance, which they kind of have, right? And they're letting crossplay happen frequently on their platforms, then that's a more enticing value proposition. It almost forces Sony's hand, right? Because if you've got friends who are on different platforms, and some are Nintendo gamers, some are Xbox gamers, and they find out that of the three, those two are willing to play ball, then, you know, you sort of open the floodgates between those two communities, and you kind of leave Sony and their isolated little community, not little, but their isolated community, kind of out in the dust. So in that regard, I think that's why Sony's been softening their stance on crossplay, because ultimately, I think if you don't do that, it starts to push people away from your platform. Now, if all three of them had been like, nope, you want to play online, you're playing with online in these particular arenas, it might have worked. But I think the fact that, because, again, it's like opening Pandora's box, right? Like, once you start to just dabble in crossplay, then it starts to become a marketplace expectation, right? Let's see, where are we at? Could have tried to rope Josh into a series. It's possible. Like, I don't think I have it for PS4. I'll double check, because I feel like I might have gotten it at one point to play with somebody else, but I honestly don't remember, Neo. I was on sale earlier this week, farm together 30% off for the Switch PS4. I will look into that. Speaking of, because Universe Retro, he was streaming Fable, but he did a quick test stream with the Disney Afternoon Collection. That's on sale for 75% off right now, and I had zero reservations about buying him immediately, because for $5 to get access to, like, you know, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Tailspin, all these games that I played when I was a kid for $5 in a modern setting, complete with rewind functionality to make some of the brutal platforming challenges a little bit more, you know, palatable. Just killer deal. Instant buy for me. The Pikachu tramp stamp? Okay, I do not have a Pikachu tramp stamp. That is false. Get out of here, Oak City. Can you see the tattoo? Yeah. Hold on. Maybe. There, I have a Charmander back here. So that is the tattoo. It's kind of weird. I can't really, like, turn around and show very well, I don't think. Maybe? Hold on. Yep, there he is. Let's see, where are we at? Dick says, cross-platform is great until it comes to shooters. PC guys just eat up the console players. Yeah, I would imagine that would be true. You know, the mouse and keyboard is just a little bit more precise than analog sticks. Dude, $5, I have no clue you have tats. Yes, I have a few tattoos. I have, you know, basically this whole arm. You know, I've got Nightcrawler and then Charmander. I've got Philippians 4:13, and then I've got an anchor down here, and then this one I got from Iceland. It was a glacier. I have Friday the 13th on my Xbox. My friend had it on PS4. I wanted to get the Switch one because that is actually the only console I currently pay for the online because it's the cheapest. That makes sense. I never really considered that as a value proposition for multi-platform online games, but that does make sense. I don't know if I'll get Friday the 13th for the Switch as well. There's a temptation there because I love that game. It's so buggy, and just about every time another game collector pops in or he hits me up on Twitter, he's like, hey man, let's play Friday the 13th. I'm 200% down for that experience, and I can't wait to play a ton of it this October. It is buggy as all get out, and I feel like you end up being the counselor a disproportionate amount of time compared to being being Jason in standard online play, unless you like create a private room and then you can kind of choose who gets to be Jason. But nonetheless, despite the fact that it's super buggy and that sometimes it crashes, it's still one of my favorite experiences ever. That is just a great time with friends. It's completely ridiculous. So he says, when Josh was showing us his Pokemon tattoo, I actually thought he was about to show us his tramp stamp. No, I'm saving that for another day. I didn't say I didn't have a tramp stamp, okay? I just said it wasn't Pikachu. But I reserve that for the specialist people in my life, like Russ Lyman. Russ, what's up, man? I have it on PS4, but no online, so we'll probably grab it for Switch. Are you talking about Friday the 13th, Russ? Because I would love to play some Friday the 13th. That would be fun. That may push me. At first, I was iffy on it, but now I'm like, maybe I could grab the physical copy of Friday the 13th for collector's sake, because I don't have a physical copy of it right now. I only have digital copies, I think. I might have a physical copy, but they've got that real fancy edition that comes with the Jason mask of Best Buy, but I don't know if that's for the Switch version as well, but I would love to play some Friday the 13th, Russ, if you're down. I think having one tattoo is cool. I only have one myself. I don't think I'm familiar with the tattoo that you have, Jay. Is it also a tramp stamp? Russ, what you doing? Yeah, and that's the thing, like, and I sort of kind of piecemealed, like, my tattoos over here. Like, I like the idea of getting Nightcrawler. It was, like, kind of a family thing, weirdly enough, because that was my dad and my favorite character growing up. Watching the X-Men was Nightcrawler. Actually, Nightcrawler and Daredevil would be my top two, technically B-listers, I guess you would say, although Daredevil less so in light of the outrageous success that series had before it was canceled. But then, A-listers, like, again, because a little bit of backstory there, it used to be every Saturday morning me and Dad would go to, there's a little comic shop next to, like, a Sherwin-Williams paint store in the small town that I'm from, and we would go there every week, and we were constantly on the lookout for Web of Spider-Man, which is not one of his heavier-hitting series, not like Amazing ones, and Iron Man. Like, we did that every Saturday. We'd go get, like, Burger King breakfast, and then we would go to the comic shop. He was more interested in the comics at that point, because I was about 7, 8 years old, and then we did it for a number of years. But in the beginning there, I was really into, like, the Marvel trading cards, like Fleer and everything, and all the foils, and how beautiful they were. I love the artwork on them. Me and Josh still need to work out our collaborative. Yes, we absolutely do. If you have some free time this weekend, man, we can get on a call and hash something out. Boxcar Racer logo on my back right shoulder. Right on, man. Yeah, the next time I start doing tattoos, I'm gonna there's an Instagram account, and it's a tattoo artist who has an Instagram account. I think it's called Jess Does Tattoos, and I believe she lives close to where Crows lives. I think somewhere, not in Ohio, maybe Indiana. I can't remember, but it's a few hours away from me. But she does incredible work. Actually, I should see if I can find that and link it in the chat real quick. Hold on a second. But I kind of want this person to do my next tattoo, or if I do in fact go for the video game sleeve I've always talked about doing on the right side, because I have no tattoos on my right arm. This will be someone that I have to hit up. Where is it? Tattoos by Jess? Hold on. I'm trying to find it. Tattoos by Jess, Instagram. Let's try DBZ. I know she did a DBZ tattoo. Nope, that's not it either. I'll find it later and put it on Twitter or something. But anyways, she does amazing work, and that's why I think I want to do the next tattoos that I start going for. We'll see. Josh, I gotta go. Sorry, buddy. Real life just came up. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. No worries. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, real life isn't too bad. But have a good one, man. Ernest says Minecraft is the real scary game. Cave ambient noises and redstone as blood is horrifying. I'm actually really pumped because I still haven't played the what was it? The Minecraft Halloween pack that came out for the Switch. I think it was like a year or two ago. But I definitely want to play around in some spooky Minecraft, and I know Lola's into that too, so maybe we can do some of that this Halloween. Nightcrawler and Gambit was also a big favorite. I shouldn't have left him out, but I did. Nightcrawler's a character, but not so much loved and hyped, so that's amazing. Yeah, not a lot of people are huge Nightcrawler fans. I've always loved the character. I particularly love, and I want to say, Wolverine had a comic book run in, I want to say, the mid-2000s-ish, and I think I have almost every issue of that. But there was one, I believe, where, you know, he was at a bar, and Nightcrawler sort of counseled him, or basically had a really great conversation with him about the nature of who he was, and who they were, and how they're perceived by humanity, and I really, really loved that, not really scene, but panel, I guess. Russ, I've been planning on doing a Russ tribute inspiration video and doing a couple custom NES controllers myself. Yeah, Russ picked up a lot of NES controllers at the Southeast Game Exchange, so he should have no shortage of supplies to work with when it comes to making custom controllers. Beck says, how many tattoos do you have? You know, I haven't counted in a while, so I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 6 on my left arm? That would be a cross, well, technically like a cross, a Sacred Heart, Nightcrawler, a Glacier, an Anchor, and Charmander. That is all of them. I had to re-edit an entire video last night. Ooh, that's what happened, man. Was there like an audio syncing problem, or did something else get in the way, Russ? Or Russ, Jay? Sorry, man. But yeah, I definitely want to get more tattoos at some point, because once you get one, man, I mean, I don't know how you only have one tattoo. As soon as I got one, I immediately wanted more. And I would say most of the people I talk to who get tattoos, you know, kind of feel the same way. So, but much as I would love to stay, I gotta start getting ready for work here in a few minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill it right here. But, you know, thank you guys so much for taking the time out to hang out this morning. Really appreciate it. Again, if you're coming to this late and watched all the way through, those 5 gaming tentpole events or trending things that I thought you could check out, they're still left for 2019. The Switch Lite, Halloween's coming up. There are a bunch of major game launches that are worth covering. Black Friday and the deals that go along with it. And then finally, the holiday shopping season is going to be right after that. So again, these are all, you know, great opportunities. But if you have any after the fact, you want to leave them in the chat or in the comments below, things that I haven't thought of, would love to hear about them. So anyways, thank you guys again so much. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for work now. But yeah, oh, and also I will say, later tonight, I will either be streaming, depending on what people want, I will either be streaming, what am I after here? Catherine, Full Body Edition, or what is now out is the Code Vein demo, which I completely avoided, knew nothing about, and I looked at it a little bit, and apparently it's an action RPG in the vein of Dark Souls, but with distinct anime styling where you're a vampire with heavy customization for your appearance. That's a good combo for me. So I may play that demo. It's out on the PS4 and Xbox now. I don't know if your progress will carry over all the Square releases that we've gotten recently, but nonetheless, definitely thinking about streaming that one. I think that would be fun. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later on a stream, I'm sure. Or if not, you know, just enjoy the rest of your day. All right, bye.